And this is the Mercedes-Benz Rangers postgame show on a literal saving the best for last night. The last game before the Christmas break, the last game this season between the Rangers and the Islanders, and last period heroics. 5-3 Rangers with a comeback victory. Welcome inside our Delta MSG studios. John Giannone alongside Steve Valiquette. You started in the pregame show by building up the importance of winning tonight when you have 4 days off before your next game and you all go home for the holiday. Right. Rangers did it well.
4 words.
Go ahead.
Never doubted it, Giannone.
He is right about that. Yes.
You know, here's one thing that I want to expand on from the second intermission. We talked about the Rangers being third in the NHL with 1,021 scoring chances. They get a lot of shots. They get a lot of quality shots. Now, the second part of that is that the Rangers are 20 goals below expectations, so they haven't really met how many goals they should have scored so far this season. But there's still a lot to give. Here's where I get excited. I love the low east to west play. K'Andre Miller to Kakko when you need one. And now keep in mind, that's how most goals in the NHL are scored, a low east to west play. But not only does Kakko accept the pass the right way in the right area of the ice, but he gets it into the upper part of the net. You know, and on a night that he has a really bad giveaway at the blue line and Barzal scores, that is such a great comeback for him. And what a story he wrote going into this 4-day break where you really feel as an athlete like this is the halfway point of the season. I know it's not, but it always feels that way because of the break. And you get to enjoy it. And I think this team should be so proud of themselves right now. They went through a month of adversity. They have an outstanding month of December. And now you really feel good about yourself, your chances. I think management's optimistic, ownership's optimistic, and believe me, the trade deadline's around the corner, and now you're telling everybody we're a contender again. That's the attitude around the club, and they've really forced, you know, Chris Drury now to make a move and help them.
You know what athletes in all sports say all the time? The beauty of what they do is the opportunity for instant redemption, right? Whether it's a goalie who lets in a softie and then gets an opportunity on a breakaway to redeem himself. Kappo Kakko was able to do that. An early second period giveaway at his own blue line led to a Barzal breakaway goal. And then with 2:47 remaining in a tie game, he finds himself in front and is able to convert a beautiful goal.
I just love it. It's poetic, isn't it? It's hard not to get romantic about this game sometimes. You just love the way these things materialize. And you stick with it and you do the right things and you get some support on the bench from some veteran leadership like Chris Kreider. And you get in first on the forecheck for K'Andre Miller to be able to be there and make this play, and for Kakko to be able to elevate from that tight. And, you know, that gets me excited about what's coming with this team. This is going to be the future too, right? And, you know, you need these guys to get going. And I know, John, even before we started tonight, we were talking about Hedl and how well he's playing. And at this time last year, like, don't forget, we weren't 100% sure about Hedl. And it takes a little time and you're patient, but that was a great moment for Kakko.
Yeah, it was. 9th of the year for Kappo Kakko. Rangers trailed both 2-1 and 3-2 in this game. They scored the next goal to tie it both times. It was once in the second period, once early in the third period. And in both cases, Julian Gautier was the pivotal element of both goals. He was the #1 star on this night. And inside our film room, powered by CDW and HP, we're going to take a look at how Julian Gautier, who was a healthy scratch the previous 3 games, became the #1 star of the night.
Yes, and a credit to him and him being able to make adjustments. The first game the Rangers played the Islanders, he had a breakaway and he went backhand long side. Now he's a right-handed shot and understands that his speed up ice starts with a good defense. And that gap allows the Rangers to be in a position where Gaudreau can flop this one in so he can skate into it. But he goes 5-hole here. He doesn't do the same thing that didn't work in the first meeting between the two clubs at the beginning of the year. He doesn't go long side. He opens up Sorokin and goes 5-hole. And I thought that was fascinating because of the adjustment made, and he and Mika had talked about it. And then the adjustment that he makes in the third period to climb up that high ice, which is really the mid to high ice just above the top of the circles. And because the Islanders were protecting so tight at the blue line, they were really seeing those second options in that mid ice. And I thought the Rangers did a good job. Once again, they adjusted in the first period on their power play. They adjusted in the third period with how they were going to play that mid-ice at 5-on-5.
Yeah, so Julian Gautier with a goal and assist. Rangers added an empty netter. They win at 5-3. Let's listen to what Julian Gautier had to say about his night and this Rangers' 8th win in the last 9.
Flying tonight. He must have had some energy. I mean, that's my game. You know, I fly pretty much every game. It was just fun to get the opportunities. You know, it's fun to play with Barkley. You know, he always trying to find me when I get my speed on the ice, and you know, it just was a good night for us.
What did he bring to your line tonight?
I mean, like you guys know how he plays. Like he gives everything he has every game. You know, he's a good two-way player. He's safe in his own zone. He makes good plays in the O zone. It's just fun to play with him.
We spoke at the end of the second period. You said you wanted to change some things heading into the third. What adjustments did you make?
I mean, we pretty much got back to our first period game. You know, like in the second we were kind of loosening up a little bit, but now I mean, the third we made some good plays. Shesty was good for us. He made some good saves, and everybody contributed today.
Heading into the break, and especially to get this win against the Islanders, what does that feel for your team? How do you feel right now?
Really good. You know, these are our rivals. You know, like it's always fun to play against them. I mean, it was a sold-out crowd today. It was fun, and I mean, just a lot of energy when we play against them. And it's fun to beat them.
Is there any?
Julian Gauthier has as much verve and energy after the game as he does during, right?
That's what giddy holiday spirit looks like, okay? He's pumped. He's pumped. He's going to go home. He's going to have an enjoyable break. These guys can feel good about themselves. They're proud of their effort. They're proud of being able to come back against the Islanders, who had come back against them in their previous meeting. A lot to be proud of.
Yeah, one of 11 Rangers with a point on this night. We've got plenty more to come on the Mercedes-Benz Rangers postgame show, but stick around because afterward, we're going to revisit a promotion at the Nassau Coliseum, forever known as Santa Brawl 2003, and a prank among friends that went all wrong, but for all the best ways.
Once we all got to my house, that's when they came up with the idea.
I believe it was me that said, why don't we put the Rangers jerseys underneath the Islanders jerseys? And then when they do this promotion on the ice, just rip them off like a wrestler and just invade.
My Islander friends were, you sure you want to do that? This is a pretty big rivalry. Are you sure that, you want to take that chance of someone actually getting really mad? And I said I was in.